DESIblitz.com.
Raxstar. What up, boy? Swag.
Thank you so much for being here with us at DESIblitz today.
No problem.
I'd like to start by asking you about your artist name, so Raxstar. What's the story behind that? Where's that come from?
It's not as exciting as people think it is. Rax was just a nickname of mine when I was younger, and I used to do graffiti. I've told this story a few times, but I used to do graffiti when I was in like high school. So when I would write Rax, I would put a S onto the end of the X and then draw a star. And then, yeah, just from that Raxstar, that's where it all came from. And it's just kind of stuck from school days, basically.
I find solace in your arms. I would never make a promise if I can't keep it. You're the air that I breathe in. You're the future that I believe in. I said
What made you want to pursue singing and rapping as opposed to a possibly safer career path?
I think I tried other things. I was always very creative when I was younger, so I actually studied film and drama. So I always was interested in creating art in all sorts of forms. Music was just something that kind of took off for me, which I kind of did on the side. And I tried quitting music a few times as well, but I always got drawn back into it. There was times when I'd just be like, I'm not doing music anymore. I'm just going to focus on getting a real job or working on something which is a guaranteed income or whatever. And I would always come back to music. I'd just end up writing a song, or I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I'd just have an idea for something, or I'd get an opportunity present itself to me. And then I think at the end of 2010, I just decided, like, look, it's time to go all in. And since then I've just been doing music properly. And I think once you start focusing on something and you put a lot of time and effort into it, and you start seeing results and you start learning from mistakes you've made, it's inevitable that you'll see success.
look, I don't normally do this. And before you start making excuses, I can see it in your face that you're ruthless. I ain't said nothing, why you throwing up your deuces? Let me talk to you, the place where you're going, let me walk you to.
How supportive were your family in that choice? Because you obviously started in your early 20s.
Yeah.
So how supportive were they?
They were always very supportive. I mean, I was always quite different even growing up, because I was always a very creative person. I enjoyed acting, filmmaking, any type of media. I was always really, really into films, watching a lot of films, consuming a lot of TV and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, they were always very, very supportive. I think the more they saw results, the more they kind of, backed off. Everyone always gets that speech, have a backup, have something else just in case it doesn't work out, which I tried to kind of do, but yeah, I just felt like I need to give this my all. And yeah, they understood that as well, and they were very supportive. So I'm lucky in that sense. Not everyone has that support at home.
Definitely. And you mentioned film and acting. Have you kind of stayed in touch with that side of your personality?
I mean, my music videos, I try and do a bit of acting in my music videos. I'm very involved in my music videos, just from the beginning stages of figuring out storylines, figuring out how we're going to shoot things. I'm very, very involved in that because I really enjoy filming and editing, that whole process. And yeah, I'm working on some more things that I can't say much about, but yeah, hopefully there'll be more opportunities for me to pursue stuff like that.
I was your king, you were my queen. Adele at 19, chasing pavements and dreams. We stepped up on the scene, everybody stopped to see. Couple man wanted to chirp you.
Can you tell us a bit more about your latest single, Rewind?
So Rewind is a song produced by Lion and featuring Amar Sandhu, released by Sarvin. The idea for that song actually came from Lion, who sent me a demo version of the beat a couple of years ago, and I really, really wanted to work with him because he's an amazing producer, young talent from the UK, amazing. And he sent me the beat, and I wrote something to it. I kind of sent it back to him. He was like, yeah, it's cool, what shall we do for the chorus? And it just kind of sat there for a while. And then when I was in New York for a UDC show, Urban Desi conference that they do every well, they've done it for 3 years now, I met Amar Sandhu the first year they did it, and the second year that we went, I met him again, and I love him as an artist. I think he's amazingly talented, really, really great singer. I loved his album that he did with Prana, new era. And I just told him, I goes, I love your new album. And then when we were together, I was like, look, we should work. And he was really up for it as well. He had some ideas for things. And when I got back to the UK, I played that track and I was like, oh, actually, let me send it to Amar and see what he thinks. And I think 2 days later, he sent me a chorus for it. And I was like, that's it, bro, we've got it, it's amazing. So I think we went a bit back and forth, because I think he did most of the chorus in English. I wanted him to sing a bit more in Punjabi. Went back and saw Lion after that, and we kind of reproduced the beat a little bit. And yeah, I'm really, really happy with the song now. And the video, that's another story as well.
Stop for a second, rewind back. The way back to you, let me find that. You ain't got a text first, just reply back. Let me know where your mind's at.
Much of your music, it touches upon cultural issues, starting from the very start and early on, which many young British Asians are often faced with. How much does making music with meaning mean to you?
It all has meaning. I mean, even the songs that are happy songs or that people think are not that meaningful, they're still meaningful to me. So yeah, it's all meaningful. I can't do it if it's not meaningful. There has to be some sort of impetus for me to write something, either a story or a feeling or emotion, or yeah, there's got to be something there. So it's very important. And issues and stuff like that, I think it's the responsibility of an artist to represent who they are, and sometimes be a voice for people who can't always tell their own stories. Keep It Undercover was a lot about that. It wasn't necessarily my story, it was more to do with how I saw certain things, how certain people were put in certain situations where they couldn't follow their passions or their creative dreams or relationships that they wanted to be in, and that inspired Keep It Undercover. It wasn't necessarily my story, it's more our story, like as British Asians, which I think a lot of people resonated with. So yeah, it's really, really important, I think.
I got a little bit of success and now they act like I ain't had it harder. A warrior's only as strong as the weakness in his armor. They say I've changed and I'm lacking in bars, so now I'm going back to...
Who are your kind of musical icons, people that you look up to maybe take more influence from? Past and present?
Past and present?
Yeah.
I mean, now there's so many talented people that I feel like they're my peers rather than people that are inspiring me. Because I feel like when you look at someone as inspiration, you feel like they're so I mean, someone like Gurdasman, for example, is so far up there, you wouldn't even put yourself in the same category as them. But yeah, I'm inspired by my peers, like people that are around me, people that are doing similar kind of things, or that are in... that I go to shows and I see at shows and we're performing on the same stage together. Those are the people that I think are more inspirational to me now, because I feel like we're part of something and we're all supporting each other and you know, creating something which is new and creating something which is there's a market for. People want to hear what we're doing. So yeah, I would say that now.
I want to seek the truth, don't want to hurt no soul, ain't easy to do, so we learn as we go. They say it's hard to be nice when your fear's so strong, asking me questions like...
You've released several mixtapes throughout your career now. Are there any kind of plans? You're releasing a lot of new singles with Arjun. Will you be planning your debut album?
Yeah, my albums, the Arjun song with Arjun is actually the first song from my album.
Okay.
So that's 8-track album which is coming out later this year. And then I have another project which is coming out hopefully later this year, which is a kind of album, and then I'm working on stuff after that as well. So those kind of projects are kind of done already.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, a lot of music.
Do you have any estimated months for those, or?
I hate saying that because
you don't want to.
Yeah, music game is so, yeah, it changes all the time. It's constantly changing. There's always things that happen that make you change your release dates. So yeah, I can't give a, but it's definitely this year.
Why you ain't pick up the phone for? I've been trying to call you. It's been over a year now since the last time I saw you. And who's the guy that you're with now? I ain't drinking, I don't want to sit down. Tell me what his name...
Talking about inspiration then, what would your advice be to those aspiring artists that were once in your shoes like 20 years ago?
I've given advice so many different times, but I mean, now I feel like study the art. I feel like that's an important thing to do. People don't always do that. I think it's very, very important. Every successful artist that I've studied has also studied music, and not in like go to uni and study music. Like, study the artist. Like, okay, you like Jay-Z. What did Jay-Z do? How did he become a businessman? What were his moves that he made? How did this person become successful in this field? What did they do? How can I apply that to what I'm doing? So yeah, I would just study it, see how things work, how people have done certain things, and yeah, just stick at it. It's hard, it's not easy. I think in this day and age things are quite instant, results are quite instant, but in the long term it takes a long time and a lot of things not going your way for things to start going right. So don't let the bad times dictate what will always be, because I've seen a lot of, you know, difficult times in music. It hasn't been an easy road, but I just stuck through it, and I carried on going, and I had a vision. So yeah, all those things you can kind of apply to any kind of situation, I think, for all up and coming artists or whatever people want to study or road people want to go down.
What did I need you for? What did I need you for? What did I need?
And then finally, where can find you to keep fully up to date with your latest developments in life, in music?
Yeah, if you go to my website, raxstardw.com, all my social links are on there. So Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, all of that. If you go to my website, it's all on there.
Nice.
It's easy to say you love me, harder to really mean it. Easy to say you want something, harder to try and keep it. It's easy to tell me that I'm so easy to forget. It's harder to wipe the memories of us inside your head. It's easy to say you changed when you really haven't. It's harder to learn from all your mistakes before they happened. It's easy to blame me, easy to point my flaws out. Harder to look at yourself and admit when you've been caught out. Yo, this is Raxstar, and you're watching me on DESIblitz.com.